Hi, I'm Andrea with Garrett Library. I am doing this week's Railroader reading. I'm reading from Midwest Living Magazine, the March-April 2022 edition, and the title of the article is Great Migrations on the Road with Nature. As the snow melts and crocuses awaken from their slumber, many of the Midwest summer residents are far away, stirring in their wintering grounds, stretching their wings in preparation for the long flight home. They come from Mexico, Central America, and even South America. As Canada geese and monarch butterflies take flight, they'll be joined by hordes of moths, dragonflies, hawks, and other birds and insects who also seek warmer climes for the winter. Now, these animals, the original snowbirds, return, arriving just as the spring smorgasbord opens for business. North America is home to four major flyaways, common paths that migratory species take, following water bodies that will provide the right sustenance for their trips. Two routes, the Central Flyway and the Mississippi Flyway, cross the center of our continent. They're responsible for some of the biggest congregations of wildlife Midwesterners can enjoy. Like the rivers they follow, ribbons of wildlife flow north across our fields, forests, and backyards. Some migrants are best viewed at specific times in specific locations, like the warblers on the southern shores of Lake Erie or the cranes flocking to the Platte River in Nebraska each March. Others can be spotted all season wherever conditions are right, like ruby-throated hummingbirds or monarchs. You don't need to be an avid naturalist to enjoy the experience. Communities across the country celebrate these migratory animals with festivals and other public events. Whether you're a wildlife viewing novice or you keep a spotting scope in the trunk of your car, there's a great migration for you to see. Ruby-throated hummingbirds. When the weather is warm, a whirring blur arrives on the scene, darting from flower to flower, frantically snacking on nectar. Roughly timing its debut with final frost dates, the ruby-throated hummingbird hits Kansas and Missouri in April and continues its arrival northward through May. Zipping between mini meals, their favorite comes from red tubular flowers. The roughly pennyweight birds beat their wings up to 50 times per second. Typically, you'll typically catch a glimpse of emerald as they zoom by. Only male adults boast the scarlet throats that give the species its name. What's their hurry? Hummingbirds' tiny hearts beat as high as 1,200 times per minute. To support that mega metabolism, they need to consume half their weight in nectar, insects, and tree sap each day. The hummers winter in Mexico and Central America, where food sources are plentiful, returning north to breed in the US and Canada when our fresh flowers and feeders appear. Their journey is mighty. Some fly across the Gulf of Mexico in a nonstop flight. Once here, the birds put on a great show for gardeners and porch sitters. Their feisty personalities come through as they bicker over nectar sources and chase one another around the backyard. But enjoy them while they last. By early September, most hummingbirds will have turned south again. Warblers. Sweet, 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 I'm so sweet. Pleased, pleased, pleased to meet ya. Wee, 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 whippoorwill. A forest cacophony rises each dawn, with warblers helping lead the chorus. Easy to hear but hard to spot, these diverse category of birds flit around the treetops. Foliage can mask their colorful plumage, so songs reveal their identities to those who know how to listen. Each species produces a distinct series of buzzes, whistles, and tweets. More than 35 of North America's 50 or so warbler species spend time in the Midwest. The half-ounce birds have a natural navigation system that uses cues from the sun, the stars, and the Earth's magnetism. Studies have shown that a warbler displaced even hundreds of miles off its path from Central or South America will still find its way to its destination. They traverse our region at night and don't like flying in rain and storms. If you have good weather overnight but rain near dawn, your backyard should be full of birds on their way north, says Ken Kaufman, naturalist and writer. To boost your chances of seeing warblers, catch them on a pit stop before crossing a big barrier, say a Great Lake. Like cars at a travel oasis, the birds touch down in droves to refuel and wait for good weather. It's possible to see more than 20 kinds in a day, but you never know which ones you'll see, Kaufman says. I've been birding for years, and I still get excited about seeing warblers. Once you discover them, it's a kind of magic that never gets old. Monarch butterflies. We all know the queen of butterflies. She bounces on the breeze and holds court in our flower beds, occasionally resting on a zinnia to bat her orange and black wings in our direction. The regal insect is always on the hunt for a sip of nectar or a milkweed leaf where she can lay her eggs. Sandhill cranes. On a cold March morning, a dozen bleary-eyed folks file into a small wooden structure, squinting through the shadows at the subtle movements on the water. Occasional cooing squawks ring out in the darkness, then a few more, then a lot more, until the youngest in the blind covers her ears to block out the din. As the sun rises, it illuminates the source of the noise. Tens of thousands of sandhill cranes waking up on the Platte River. This spectacle is an ancient one. The giant birds have been coming to what's now Nebraska for more than 9 million years. An annual visit that far outdates the Platte itself. From mid-February to mid-April, 1.3 million cranes stop here. Each bird spends about 3 weeks along the river, gorging on seeds and insects and carb loading on waste grain from nearby cornfields. They need to bulk up because food may still be scarce in their far north breeding grounds when they arrive. The birds aren't just here to eat, though. It also can be a matchmaking event for newly eligible 4-year-old cranes. A lot of times, single birds meet their mate on the Platte, says Andy Caven, Director of Conservation Research with the Crane Trust. You see a lot of dancing. It's like a dance party. Once they're done feasting and flirting, the birds will move north to their breeding grounds in Minnesota and the Arctic. In the fall, they'll pass through Nebraska again, though more spread out. After a busy season of raising chicks, the new families are ready for their summer vacation. Whooping cranes. In late March or early April, lucky visitors may see a whooping crane among the sandhills along the Platte. The population of these tall white birds fell to about 15 migrants in 1941. But hunting bans, habitat restoration, and reintroduction efforts have brought whoopers back in recent decades. Though still endangered, wild whooping cranes now number around 500. More migrators. Every migrating creature, from tiny insect stately eagles makes an incredible journey. Here are 6 more to watch for in the Midwest. Common green darners, the biggest and most common dragonfly. Canada geese. Trumpeter swans. They weigh in at 26 pounds or more. They were once endangered. They are the heaviest migrators. Look for them in shallow wetlands, ponds, and harvested fields. Mallards. Not all mallards migrate, so it's possible to see them year-round in the Midwest, but some fly each year between breeding grounds in Canada and Alaska and wintering grounds in the southern U.S. and northern Mexico. Bald eagles. Our national bird loves the cold but requires open water for fishing. Most of them breed in the continent's far north, then travel south in the winter chasing food. Hawks. Most varieties of hawks ride solo during the year, but they flock more during migration. They're easiest to spot around September from a ridge or a riverbank. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed hearing about these migratory animals. I see so many of those around us and enjoy all of them. I hope you have a great week. Bye.